Let's get this farce over with.
Rahelu looked up to see Neras of Alin and her cousins stepping out of a red and cream palanquin.
I've an appointment at Schwath's,
Neras said as she swaggered up the street, jeweled armbands and earrings jangling, with Bemel and Chiron trailing in her wake like two starving alley mutts. Her disdainful eyes roved over the line of common-born applicants. She gave an audible sniff and a wrinkle of her nose when she saw Rahelu.
And I'd rather not arrive with my clothes stinking like this rabble.
Every time Rahelu had given in to her desire to pummel the Alin girl in the face, things had ended badly. She was not going to let Neras get to her. Not today. If Rahelu gave insult for insult, Neras would take it as an act of provocation. Never mind that she'd done the insulting first, and none of them would leave with their dignity intact. Besides, Neras never took well to being ignored, so ignoring Neras was the best way to piss her off. Rahelu went back to drawing the final lines of her ward.
I don't see why we need to show up and hand in these dumb petitions personally,
Chiron said, hands in his pockets.
Any messenger could have done the same. It's the principle of equality.
Bemel rolled his eyes.
As if anybody is stupid enough to believe in that.
Rahelu's foot jerked. One of her extension lines went too far, crossing past the ward's foundation lines and rendering the construction useless. A bright red flare surged past her personal ward before she could suppress it, lighting up her resonance aura. Rahelu breathed. I control my emotions. They do not control me. Bemel was an entitled ass whose opinion was about as informed as Lodoc's gossip. The ward she'd been tracing on the ground was just something to pass the time. It didn't matter. She restrained herself, hurling one hard glare at the three houseborn instead of a projection. Her eyes met Neras's, and the Alin girl sneered.
Clearly, many are, including some who should know better. The houses really ought to change this outdated practice of letting anybody submit a petition. It's hardly fair to take their coin when most of them don't stand a chance.
Rahelu abandoned her incomplete ward and her earlier resolution to stay silent, and scoffed. Loudly. What are you doing? Someone behind her in line hissed. Let it go. She ignored the admonition and the temptation to shape the anger rushing through her veins, kept her voice calm and steady as her eyes wandered over each of the Alin applicants. 2 in 3 houseborn don't either.
Nobody asked your opinion, fish guts, Bemel said. Why don't you crawl back to the Lodocs instead of stinking up the place?
Nobody asked yours, Rahelu said, clasping her hands behind her back. Yet here you are, inflicting our ears with your idiocy. The girl ahead of her turned around and glared. Will you shut up? Don't make things worse for the rest of us. Chiron sauntered forward with one hand on his dueling cane. The other common-born applicants in the line melted away at his approach, leaving a space around Rahelu.
Bemel asked you a question, fish guts. When a house speaks, you answer.
Well, let me know when somebody sworn to a house shows up, and I'll answer to them. Last I checked, neither being spawned of your father's seed nor crawling out of your mother's womb guaranteed you a place in their houses. Bemel growled and stepped up beside Chiron.
You don't belong here. Go back to the gutters, or better yet, to Chana's. Don't shame the guild. No house will take someone like you.
House of Scott took Senje. She's a dedicate now. Neras arched one elegantly plucked brow.
Ideth's harlot is your shining example?
Her resonance aura rippled, shimmering with orange amusement as her 2 followers snorted and laughed.
If that's so, then you've been focusing on the wrong kind of petition.